Radio Paranormal.
Welcome to Radio Paranormal.
Oh, it's just me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I don't know where Brandon went. Hopefully he will be back. Oh, there he
You
is.
handled that beautifully.
Thank you.
I was in the process of putting us both up. I'm like, let's just see what happens. So
Yeah,
that was, you pass.
I did. Touchdown.
You know what else passed your house at about 3:00 this morning?
Actually,
Drunk people.
yes, a car full of at least 3 of them. Except it didn't make it to my house. It was stopped by my neighbor's garage door.
And there's some sort of stone wall.
There is a shared brick wall between their garage and my bedroom. So when the car went kerplunch, or I don't know, where's the sound effect? Crunch.
Punch.
All
All right,
my
hold
house-
on. Now I gotta find it. Just keep talking. We'll get it.
My house shook. So I wake Chris up and said, "Oh crap, something just hit something." And where are we parked? Because I wanted to make sure it wasn't our car again, because that happened too, where someone was exiting the quarter very intoxicated and ping-ponged off about 6 cars. Yeah.
It's horrible.
So the funniest part, so they pulled the car out. The axle's busted, like he wasn't going anywhere. He's half a block down, which I don't know, in a normal subdivision, maybe 4 houses. And
Right.
the cops get there about 30, 45 minutes later. So, right on time for New Orleans. And these kids are telling cops that, I don't know, man, I think the tire blew and we just like skidded. And they were believing him. We thought they were going to let him go. And we're sitting on our front porch just like, oh my God. We're like, there's a garage door like kicked in next to us.
I love doing that. Just sit back going, look, this ain't none of my business.
No.
I'm not watching.
And they called their friends, and their friends are like, "Did you call the cops?" I'm like, "No, but I can't see the other neighbors didn't." Oh, I'm like, "Hey,
Oh.
is anyone hurt?" They said no. I'm like, "All right, we're good. We're just gonna watch."
Well, it's a shame when it's the neighbors you don't like. What happened? What? Did I say that out loud?
Yeah,
did.
it did.
I'm
It
just-
did. So
I'm just
Karma
putting it out
came
there.
through last night, and then so they didn't know what they'd hit. And one of the friends that had come in another car, there's parts of this car down in front of the garage door, like the entrance to their garage. She's walking over, she picks up a part of the fender and is putting other crap from the car in the street, and the fender just walks across the street, sticks it in her back seat.
I mean, those are my kind of friends. I like my dirty friends. 3:00 in the morning. Look, I need you to come pick up all these pieces of my car. The cops believe I hit a duck. Just come in and just like, yeah. See, I got friends like that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they were that really was a show of true friendship with all the oh my God. Eventually they figured out the dented garage door might have come from, the front end of their car. So they figured it out.
If the paint matched from never mind. I'm not law enforcement. That ain't not my circus, not my monkeys.
Oh, it was quite the circus last night. We're just sitting up front with the cocktail. I'm just like, here it is.
Speaking of circuses, so we have a great guest tonight. And I had the privilege of riding with her and her mother and her husband for like an 8-hour ride. We were going down to Georgia. And I don't think any of us really took a breath other than laughing the entire time. And we found Mom's here. Hold on. I need to shut up. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Everybody say hello to Mom. But I will tell you, and I'm sure she would like to expand. But I'll tell you, we found the only gas station in Georgia that had outhouses.
Oh no, I do want to hear this.
Uh-huh.
I do want to hear this. Sorry, I'm adjusting because the other view is messing with me.
Oh, it's not my mom.
It's my mom.
It's Jen's mom, my adopted mom. But it's mom now.
She's always so. She's like, I can't.
Did we say hi to Blaine yet? He was like one of the first.
Oh, there's
people
Blaine.
to
Hi,
say
Blaine.
hello.
Yes. He said hi to our guests too. So, yep. Hi, y'all.
Yep.
There you go.
I gotta put it all up. I'm pretty excited about this, but you know what else I'm excited about?
What? I know what it is.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I've been working on this impression for a long time. Okay. I just need y'all to let me know. This is my impression of a butterfly. You ready? How was that? Was it good?
That's good.
So I thought, what else I'm looking forward to other than the impression of the butterfly is I've never been to New Orleans. Ever. I've been into paranormal for like, I don't know. Like, I don't even want to date myself. Like, but I'm old. And I've never made it down there. But you know who has made it possible to make it down there and make it down there? Hold on. My battles just joined. We got to say hello to Matt Brown, Lee Triana. That would be her husband and one of my best friends. Like, yeah. So the whole look. Anyway, we'll get into it. They're all really good, and I love them, and I'm so excited about this.
Aw, I can't wait to meet them.
I also love New Orleans Paracon because there would have been absolutely no other reason for me to go down to New Orleans because, you know, we's poor up here in the mountains. I couldn't afford to come down there. But you know who has made it affordable? Hang on. I got a little QR code here that I'm going to put up beside my head. And for those of you that are watching, you can just click. Oh, no. I already had it up there. Look at me being ahead of things. All you got to do is scan that with your phone or your tablet, and it'll take you directly to it. But if not, why don't you tell us a little bit about what y'all got planned? Because I've been to some cons. I've been blessed to be to a few, but never one set up quite like this.
No. Okay. So New Orleans Paracon, July 31st through August 2nd at the Astor Crown Plaza in New Orleans. It is, well, okay. First of all, we want everyone to experience our city. It is a true New Orleans experience. And one of the many things we're known for is paranormal. We're known as the haunted or the most haunted or up there cities in the country or world. I mean, and that's a fact. And I'll prove me wrong, folks. I'll debate you.
Right.
Because I've only done like 1,700 ghost hunts in my career. So, you know, just done a couple.
You happen to live in the French Quarter, but you know, what do you know?
I know, right?
Right.
So just based on doing our ghost hunts, our public hunts that we do every night. In fact, that's where Chris is tonight and one of our other investigators, Rob. And then events with people like Dale and Spratt, Graveyard Fest in 2024. And meeting so many people who maybe have abilities, don't have an outlet, don't know where to go. Hearing people say they're experienced paranormal investigators, which we always say, okay, sure, have fun. And then by the end of the night, they're telling us how much we taught them and how much they realized they didn't know. That we're like, the reason for this Paracon is just hit us over the head so many times. We just had to do it. People need an outlet for good information. So we have another package we wrote out. The RIP just sold out.
Oh,
we have
I do need to say, yeah. The RIP is sold out. And again, those of you who are like, oh, it's $300 for 2 nights and it's too cheap. What are they hiding? I'm going to tell you what we're hiding. Nothing, and you missed out. So guess what? Prices had to go up on the next one because you slept on it. Sorry, go ahead.
So the next one, the newest one is called Living Dead. The RIP was actually kind of built for a la carte. I just want to go to the show and I'll let you know later if I want to take a ghost hunt, a class, things like that. The Living Dead is a little bit different. It's still it maths out to $224 a person, even though it starts at $358 for one person. And the reason that is because your hotel room is your hotel room is your hotel room, and those rates are based on double occupancy. So if you add a second person, it's only $90. There's your $448. It includes your stay for 3 days and 2 nights at the Astor Crown Plaza in a king or double queen room. It includes 2 paid classes per person, one each day. And it includes a Friday night ghost hunt with some guy I know that's a Mason at an exclusive access Masonic cemetery.
I'm super excited.
And we're going to get some pictures.
This is going to be the only, I don't do graveyards. I've only done one other Masonic graveyard, and that's out in Potosi, Missouri, and that's with Supernatural Inc. and Paranormal Task Force X. We'll talk about that later, but yeah, I'm super excited. Super.
And that hunt is Friday night for the Living Dead package, and you'll have the opportunity to add in some others later. Our tour partner, Haunted History Tours, is the one that is getting us out to that cemetery and back. They'll have that on a couple other nights. We're working on a ghost hunt in City Park here, which is got a 700-year-old live oak tree. It's the oldest tree in New Orleans. So, folks, lots of ceremony done around that tree. Lots of ceremony. So Chris and I are going to get that out April 11th, and see if we can finagle a hunt there too. So lots of things going on. And if you want to go, and book with Haunted History too. They're going to be at the con. They've got so many great other tours: a pub crawl, vampire tour, day tours, voodoo tours. So they're going to be there as our rep for other stuff to do.
And I heard that vampire tour sucks. It's a vampire joke.
And you get to meet real live vampires because there's a vampire panel, and you can ask them all the stupid vampire questions you want, like I did, like, do the blood types taste different, and does diet make a difference? And our guest tonight is going to have just such an intriguing class, because I know the word, right?
No.
But I absolutely no idea what the definition really is. You hear people with this title after their name, parapsychology or parapsychologist, and you're like, yeah. It's like, okay, define it, because I can't. I don't know. I don't know what it means. And this is what I want to dive
I can define it. I can define it in 2 words: student loans.
Probably.
Without further ado, I really do. There's so much to talk about. We're just going to have to jump into it. I want to bring on my sister from another mister, Litriana Terry Brown.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we appreciate you being here and being a part of the Paracon too. So I can't wait to meet you in person for sure.
Thank you. I can't wait. And we get a big Southern hug.
Oh yeah.
Big Southern hug.
And then we're going to dump you off alone in the voodoo house and lock the door. Literally is what we do.
Yeah.
And
Sounds great to me.
You get to meet a lot of fun spirits in there. Isn't that the ghost hunt Chris has you on, is the voodoo house?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think so.
We
were talking about it, and he said something about, I think, you're going to be there, but I didn't hear back. But I told him wherever he wanted to put me, I'd be great. Yes, please like and share. This is going to be the place to be this summer.
Yes.
Sunday.
No, I'm excited for you both to be here for sure. And, see what.
Thanks, Deb.
I can't wait to hear, after talking to you both, I cannot wait to hear what you think after we're done. The ghost.
Well, let's start off though.
All that stuff.
For those people that, I don't know, live under a rock, Can you just briefly tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I'm fifth generation psychic medium. A lot of people don't like the word psychic, and I get that, but that was the name I was given for a show, and I said that's fine with me, and I just, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So that's what it was. My
Right?
grandmother taught me a lot, and my dad, being Native American, I learned a lot of things with him when he would travel because he did a lot of work with Ross Allen's Reptile Institute in Silver Springs, Florida. And the Seminoles backed their tribe to the backside of the institute. So, they were there doing their lives and showing their traditional ways, and they were my babysitter. So I learned a lot of wonderful things, and they were living the traditional way. And so, I learned what a medicine wheel was and how to use it. It's not complicated. It is sacred. You don't mess with it if you don't have the right frame of mind. And so I started learning, and just it's sort of like putting a recipe book together. This one came from my grandma. This came from mom. Oh, this was my dad's grandmother. Oh, this is from the Cherokee Reservation. Oh, this is from the Seminoles from the 70s, And so that's me. I'm just a patchwork, patch quilt or something. But I love it. I love being able to study the paranormal, not just ghosts and spirits and dimensions, but also cryptids, because that's what my dad did. He was all about
And
going
I was
out
gonna
into the
say
swamps.
you had a very normal upbringing, right? Like just white picket fence and the whole nine, right?
Hmm.
Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I was pretty much seasoned to do this type of life. My dad having a Gwen, my
What?
dad having all these animals. I mean, I had cobras. We had my first pet was a hognose snake, which is absolutely hilarious. If you guys don't know what a hognose snake is, you need to look it up because they're hilarious. But and yes, I said a snake was hilarious. You gotta watch. But they're adorable. But I had monkeys and wolves and lions. Our lion was mistreated. We rescued her. Her name was Tinker, and she had a
Aw.
big L here on her head where her owner was pulling her by the chain, and she ran right into her cage, and that was a scar from the
Oh,
edge of the cage. And she was just like a dog that had been mistreated, no different. So
aw.
I learned
Right.
from that experience, I learned from Uncle Ross, and that's what he wanted me to call him, not grandpa. He was never old enough to be a grandpa. But even when he was a grandpa, he told me that animals had souls, that the earth has souls, and I learned that from the Seminoles a lot. I was told that I had responsibilities even as a young child to understand, the energies from animals, from the earth, from the elements, and how we're a part of it and how we communicate within it. I was basically taught to listen to my instinct. So, that's me. That's what I do. Um, so I started studying parapsychology because that was just the natural step for me after dad was studying animal language. And, the Institute was actually doing that and comparing alligators' um, vocabularies and cries and calls and things like that. We studied felines. Anything that made a noise, it seems like we studied it. So,
I would say
and
anything that could eat you, not make a
yeah.
noise. Anything that could eat you.
Yeah, my dad had an ape that fell in love with him and loved his cologne. And dad was a hairy guy, it's the 70s, so he had all the chest hair. He didn't manscape or anything. And she was picking through his hair and picking moles and stuff like that. And here I am crying, wanting my dad, and this ape has got him, pretty much wrapped up. They had to drug her to get him free. It was horrible. He was in there for hours.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, I've had a pretty weird life. Just, I guess you'd say seasoned to do something different.
Yeah.
And with ghosts, they don't have fleas, they don't bark, they don't generally keep you up at night unless they're trying to tell you something.
So tell me, explain parapsychology. What
All
is
right.
the definition
Okay.
of study, so I can wrap my brain around it.
All right. So ghost hunting. Imagine ghost hunting as being a sport like fishing. Okay. When you're a fisherman, fishing person, I don't want to be right about how I phrase that. If
Yeah.
you're a fishing enthusiast, you know how to cast your rod and reel. You know what kind of weight line you need on your rod. You know what bait is for which ever fish you're hunting for or fishing
Right.
for. You
Right.
know what seasons are for which. You know how many you can get. You know whether you're going to throw them back or if you're going to keep them, you're going to fillet them, you're going to cook them. You've got famous recipes. That's very similar to a ghost hunter because we have our equipment. We know where we're going. We know what the claims are when we get there. We're going to think of ways to investigate based off of maybe the history of the place and what questions you can ask. There's some people that are going to chum the water, those are people that are antagonizing ghosts,
Right.
you know? So, I mean, it's very similar, and it takes a talent to be able to communicate. There's being seasoned involved because, you have to have stamina. You've got to be able to stay up all night. You've got to know how to debunk and all your videos and audios and things like that. So it takes a lot of talent. Now, the difference between what I just described, the parapsychologist, we're the kind of people that will study the fish. How did the fish come about? Where does it swim? Why does it swim there? Is there another version of that type of fish?
Makes sense.
That kind of thing. So parapsychology, we know that there's dimensions, and scientists have proven there's 7, which means there's thousands, millions, possibly. We know that there's different types of hauntings, and we have theories of how they become. We are going to compare history and the history of people communicating with spirits and the outcome. There's some really old methodology. People don't realize how long it comes about. There's ancient Rome that has documents of people writing about having a ghost in their home. So, there's a lot of documents there. Oh, and another. Thanks, Deb. Thank you for popping in. One of the things I like talking about is how the Society for Cyclical Research, how they were able to use old ways of investigating to come to conclusions about a place and then comparing it to the history. I mean, they were using, Ouija boards and table tipping and all kinds of stuff. And then a couple of years later, they were able to get the history of the
And
place.
just
It's
real
insane.
quick, for those of you who are not familiar with the Society for Cyclical Research, look up an individual named Manly P. Hall. Manly P. Hall. He started the society in Los Angeles. And then, just for a rabbit hole, real quick, look up Manly P. Hall and Ronald Reagan. Enjoy that one.
Oh, yeah, that's a rabbit hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, every country had a cyclical research organization, and they started communicating within each other their findings. And of course, I wrote about it. It's called Victorian Ghost Files Between Heaven and Ectoplasm, because there are a lot of flim-flam artists too doing some strange things with ectoplasm and things like that.
Right.
So, there was that. And then there was, actual research. And they'd study a place 5 years. But I think one of my most fascinating case was studying the Fox sisters, their original case that brought them into the spotlight.
Right.
They had a guy that was haunting their house, and they would do knocking, and it would knock back. He would knock back, and they could figure out words based off the knocking. And then when the case was pretty much wrapped up, they started faking it. And that's when it's not interesting anymore.
Aw.
They crack their toes and, make it sound like rapping on the walls. And it tore the family apart. They did a lot of things to get more money and support and stay in
Aw.
the spotlight. But the original case is fascinating. It's
Yeah, and
really
it
cool. There's a
started.
lot of stuff like that.
It did. It started out completely innocent, totally
Yeah.
innocent, but then greed got in there, and there's
Yeah.
plenty. There's a
Harry
ton of podcasts
Hines.
out there.
Yeah, there's a ton of podcasts out there. And Harry Hines was he was trying to be somebody really special with that whole organization. But then oh God, what's his name? The magician, help me.
Houdini.
Houdini, yes. He became a big contributor to that, and he ended up joining it. And he was able to prove that a lot of things that, different psychic mediums were doing, and the photography and the sleight of hand and overexposure and mirrors and smoke and all of that stuff, how it was
Right.
done.
Oh,
Just really cool. Really cool to
Debunk.
think about. Mhm.
Yeah, Chris does his own brand of debunking when he meets a medium.
Cool.
He is Mr. Brandon. I know you're up there, Mr. Skeptic.
Mhm.
He's
I'm up there too when it comes to people that claim to be psychics. I only work with a very, very select few because look, just like shamans. Hey, you go to a Paracon, shamans are a dime a dozen. That's what it looks like. It's like, be careful. Anyway, sorry.
We're gonna have a lot at ours too. Just a couple.
Mhm.
Just a couple few.
Well, there's 2 real ones here.
There's what? There's 2 real ones. Yeah.
Mhm. The thing about people that claim to be psychic, if their intentions are off, they could still use
Oh,
thank
thanks,
you,
Greg.
Greg. You're the
Aw,
sweetest
Oh,
thing.
you were talking to them. My bad.
You have to know their intentions, because it depends on what kind of energy they're using. They can see into your past and put a skew on it so that it will take you down the wrong road. They could be led by something that has nefarious, intentions. So you have
Mhm.
to be careful of who you listen to and why. And if they're charging you, oh, I'll give
Oh,
me
ooh,
$2,500 and I'll take this curse off of you. Or,
yeah,
I'll teach you this
yeah.
course so that you can get your finances back in play. Okay.
Mhm.
So you have to watch out for that. But
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's another reason, we're glad to have you and the group that we have coming up this summer, is because, we meet the same thing. I meet so many people, younger girls for sure. I'd say younger. I'm going to be 53. So, what I would say younger, who are just, we get in this conversation about, they're like, I think I have this. I don't know what to do. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want it. And they'll sit and talk my ear off. I'll give them as much advice as I can. I mean, from what I've learned, but they need you and everyone coming to the con. They need an outlet for just not just information, good information. It's a big difference between just getting information
big.
and good information, reliable, ethical. And that's why for me that I'm glad you're a part of it. And that's one of the
Thank
things
you.
we've tried to really get that group together at the con,
Yeah.
because you don't know. $2,500, you look online and you're looking for, okay, I need someone to teach me, and they're expensive courses. And then how do you know who's a sham and who isn't?
Lots of
Other
times
than
there's,
you got to do your due diligence.
Yeah.
In this day and age, with the entire knowledge of mankind at your fingertips, you just gotta what was the old saying? Let your fingers do the walking.
Yeah, through the
I mean, I understand, especially if you're like really in a bad situation and you're freaking out and you're panicking and you want to make a quick snap decision. But that's the worst thing you can do, because I've talked to tons of people.
good job.
Like, they were trying to they charged me $3,000 because they said that I had something. No.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
You really
when,
are paying for someone's time,
yeah.
but it also is a buy-in on your behalf. Like for Reiki attunements, for you to actually feel like you've been attuned and you accept the fact that you have been given this opportunity and your energy has been increased by paying that fee, you believe you've actually received it. So I understand charging. I understand charging, for your time and for your efforts and your patience and training, but really and truly, the person that is seeking the knowledge is the one that's responsible
Yeah.
for their own growth. Because if they are just expecting someone to go, okay, so this is your life and here's your choices. Oh, and you're going to have a son. And now they just make the decisions based off what they've been told, when really they need to know how to peel away the layers of their life, all the aggravation, all the nervous angst and things, and get to their basic feeling.
Mhm.
And sometimes you're feeling something that oh, hi Jeff, my name's Lee, nice to meet you. You have to get to the bottom of what you're feeling, and if it doesn't make sense for you to be feeling really pissed off right now, it's likely that it's not your feeling at all.
Mhm.
You might be feeling a spirit or feeling someone in the room, or
And now one thing that I have heard is why do people at all, once you find a legitimate psychic, and I can name a few, let's go with Lee. You charge for your classes. I'm not a huge fee, but a nominal fee to cover overhead and your time and whatnot. And
you
a
gotta
lot of
pay
people
for
are like,
notes.
well, why does anybody charge? And I don't want to pay that. All right, let's just say that your pipes burst in your house and the plumber comes over and it takes him 3 hours and he doesn't fix the problem and he charges you $1,500. Well, you got to call another plumber. Well, now you get the one with the expertise, comes over, fixes everything in 15 minutes. You're back, you're running, and he charges you $3,000. Well, why are you paying more for 15 minutes? Well, you're not. You're paying for the time and the expertise and the learning and the level of skill. You're not paying for, an hourly fee just somebody can live. So there's a thin line between paying and paying too much. So I
Right.
That's
just like to
right.
put that out there.
Yeah.
Right.
$65 for a 2-week class. And you get 4 hours a week for 2 weeks. I mean, it's really
Wait,
minimal.
what? For what? Tell me that. Okay, now I want to sign up. Now I'm curious. So for what class and what do we do and what are the things and where can we go and let me take
Sure.
one.
I started a Facebook event, and I've got my Venmo and Cash App in there, and you can pay, $65. There's a Google Forms link. Just fill that out, and I'll get it. And we'll be starting Monday is the cutoff for enrollment. I probably could push it a little more, but we start class on Wednesday night, and Thursday night is from 6 to 8, both nights. And we're going to break this down very simply. We're going to get to know each other. We're all going to wear pajamas one night, pour a glass of whatever we want to drink, and just talk about what we're feeling, and just learn to peel away those emotions so that you can get to the center of who you are, and then what emotions are you picking up, and then we'll figure out why.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about how your emotions can actually make you sick, and how they can also heal you, and why you may get some of the messages that you do. See, I don't blow smoke. If I don't get a message, I tell you I ain't got shit.
Right.
But thank you, Tracy. Yes, you've missed a lot, but I made sure she was able to take a few. I do teach like parapsychology, but then I teach ghost hunting 101.
Mhm.
So, we're going to talk about the where and the why, and then what and how. That's the difference between the two courses.
Right.
And, but anyway, yeah, we're going to break down a lot of 6 to 8 Eastern time. Thank you, baby. Matthew's got my back. That's my sweet pea.
That's my sweet
So,
pea.
oh Lord. So we're just going to break it down, enjoy our time, and learn how to get to that moment of peace and quiet quickly. We're going to be doing drills for basically rehearsal so that we can get to that point. So if we walk into a situation and we need to feel something, if nothing else, we can feel from our empathic ability. Sometimes you can hear, sometimes you can see. Sometimes I can see, but I can't hear. Now I'm reading lips. I hate that. Or if I can hear, I can't see where they are. So I'm going by basically sonar. So I love to be able to get all my stuff in a row so that I can see, hear, feel, and tell you what's going on. And I've had some beautiful, beautiful moments where I've been like, there was a waitress in a Chinese restaurant. And she was talking about, oh, you're having those classes. I saw it in the paper. And what is it like? And I was like, actually, I'm going to skip that. And I'm going to tell you your brother's here. And she was shocked, and I explained to her what I saw, was hearing, and what he was saying. Hey, Kathy, thank you for watching. She's taken a lot of my classes. And so what I told her, which I don't remember because it wasn't for me.
Right.
It was for her.
I understand that.
So,
right.
I mean, I get it out there and I don't know what I said, but she wrote down on my check. I've got it framed in my other house over here, but it basically said, she told me that only my brother would have known to say that because somewhere, I don't know if it was her or him at this point, but somebody was studying to be a mortician.
Okay.
And it was something that was really strange and I was hesitant to say it. And it made sense to her. And she said, that's when I knew it was him.
And
thought,
and I just want to
wow.
break in just real quick because a lot of people say stories like that. That's a bunch of bullshit and you can make it up. Well, it was me, Lee, I think Matt, and my wife. We're all sitting downtown Greenville at a restaurant getting burgers.
Oh,
And
I remember that.
Right. And the waitress came up, blah, blah, blah. She was talking. Exact same thing happened. Lee had a message for the waitress and gave the message. The waitress starts bawling. And she was like, that's the message from my friend. We're not going to get into details because we don't need to know it, but you just need to know I've seen it. So, and I'm a skeptic. So we're just putting that out there.
I know that I looked for a mentor and I tell this a lot for people because when people are looking for outlets to learn, like from you, Lee, it's not easy. I live in the French Quarter in New Orleans, and it took me 3 to 4 years to find someone to help me. And one of the things they taught,
baby, you've got natural ability.
Well, thank you. I mean, that was what we were working on. We figured out. I accepted. I was told, and I accepted. Okay,
maybe it's Maybelline.
And then the class I was in, the way that they were asking me to try to get information, I said no. I said no because they're like, what color is their hair? What color are their eyes? Things like that. Well, if you're delivering a message in a big room, what's the dominant gene in the room, folks? And so I chose to say no to that. And
good for you.
I smell and taste.
Isn't that weird? When you have the smell and the taste, like smelling a cigar,
they show me food memories. I ask them to tell me food memories because everyone's have them. And so that's something, a direction and advice I give to people. Don't settle for the Wheel of Fortune medium approach.
Right.
I can't get in the center.
A show pony,
Right. You're not going to seem credible. You got to work on other techniques, like what you were saying, peeling back the layers and finding all of those all that information. So it's nice to hear that there's another approach that doesn't, because I didn't have any other choice. I'm like, I'm not doing that. You know what? Forget it. I'm just going to do food. And they kind of got irritated with me. I was like, but I know you're the teacher, but I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't think it's a good approach.
Well, here's the thing. They have the answer key.
Right.
You might be picking up on something that she doesn't have the ability to. And then just because she can't pick up on it doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's right. 3 snaps and a Z formation.
I'll be right back.
Only way to know. Okay.
Be right back. You guys keep talking.
Okay. The only way to really know if a teacher is in sync with you is their intention. If they're telling people, okay, this is what I'm going to lead you through, you're the one
Right.
with the answer. You're
Well,
the one that will know.
well, and the biggest thing, like, the students don't find teachers. Teachers find students. That's the way
That's
it works.
right.
When the teacher is ready, or when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. There's a reason why there's
That's
been
right.
that
You've
saying.
said that before and it works. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, you can try and try and try all you want to, but you're not at that level that where the universe is ready for you to learn that yet. You got some more lessons to do, and the harder you push, the more you may find those
Oh,
people that don't have your best interest at heart. But I firmly believe in when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
you've said it and it's 100%. I totally agree.
And I could hear you guys. It is true because they, the person that came into my life, that was the season. Even though there was one thing that I said, okay, I'm not doing that way. I still needed what they gave me. And then I felt I could feel for myself when
What you talking about, Willis?
I could feel for myself when I knew the relationship had run its course in that way. And then now it's time for me to find something else. And it was nothing against that person or those people, not at all. It was what they were brought into my past to teach me. They did.
Well, there's some people that they're going to jockey to be the one on top.
Mhm.
I'm still the one that's in charge of this class. I'm the one that's the best psychic. And if you come up with something that she doesn't, and it turns out that it was right, if she doesn't have a good, or he doesn't have a good self-esteem and have the good intention of, I really want you to grow. If I've been able to be part of that growth for you, think Great Spirit. That's what I'm here for. That's
Mhm.
my intention. But if it's somebody that's jealous, that's trying to be, look at me, look what I can do, and I'm
Mhm.
teaching these classes because I miss everything, they could lead you down the wrong road, even on purpose.
Right.
So if I don't feel something, I don't blow smoke. If
Yes.
it's meant for me to feel it, I feel it and I say it, because that takes incredible courage to do.
And and make no mistake, just because the teacher vanishes doesn't mean the lesson's over.
Right.
He's right there too.
Yeah.
I
It'll
mean,
take you to the next level.
yep.
Well, I try to do my classes like it's an exploration,
Mhm.
and everybody's input's valuable, like a tribe. That's what I think. I think that's why we have so many people that come back. There's people that have taken my classes for years because it's their journey, and that I'm basically trying to facilitate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you. So I was blessed one time to just happen to be in the same city that Lee was, which I never go to Abbeville, but just so happened she just so happened to call me and said, "Hey, where are you at? 'Cause I've got this thing that I could use your help." And I'm like, "I just happen to be in Abbeville." I said, "Where's the thing?" She goes, "Abbeville." Bet.
The
And
house
it
was
was
stupid.
cool. And it was with her students that have graduated and whatnot. So not only did I get to investigate with her, but I got to investigate with her students and see the practice of what they've been teaching. And I'll tell you, I still to this day investigate besides some of them, and they were all good, except unfortunately one gentleman got pushed down the stairs and he was elderly.
Oh
But,
no.
it was a crazy house, crazy.
And that's something else to look forward to with all of us at the Paracon.
She thinks it's the Luna show. Sorry.
That's all right.
That we also want to create an environment to learn from each other too, especially on these
Right.
ghost hunts. These are, what's the preach in the paranormal now? Start putting your ego aside and start learning from each other. because
Right.
we all have something to
Exactly.
teach. We all have something to teach each other. Chris and I have taught people many things. We've learned things from people who've never been on a ghost hunt before that just have had fantastic ideas to try to get some activity going. And, we have a different perspective because the locations we've been going to for several years. So there's, one technique for that versus maybe another technique for a new space versus, so yeah, I hope people take that from us. And I can't wait to learn from both of you, to just, you don't have to run the show. Let someone else do something, sit back and learn. Okay, now you do your thing. It really is going to create a fun environment. I think if we all let it happen, for sure.
Well, I'm super
One of the
excited
most
about the learning environment because I know enough to know I don't know shit. And there's going to be some super, super talented and experienced individuals teaching classes. Think my little skinny ass ain't going to be in some of them seats.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, excuse me, my ass is skinny. Everything else ain't. All right. I look like a frog that stood up and pulled up a pair of pants, if that gives you a visual. But
That's
other
what I
than
usually
that,
say about me. It's true for me. It really is true. I have
I don't
no.
know how I'm not
It's
sliding out of
bad.
this chair. I'm telling you.
Well, one
Sorry.
of my
Back to
most, you're such a mess. One of my most powerful moments investigating was with Patty Negri.
Oh,
And we were sitting in, we were at MassCon, and we were in a church, and the church was extremely haunted because something really dastardly had happened outside the church, and they were bringing people in, and there was a big fight and people getting killed and all of this. And then there were people from the church, because the church is ancient, and they were there, and Monique Too Soon was there, and she was dressed as Monique. She's well, you get what I'm saying. She
mhm.
I think
dressed.
cross dresser is appropriate. I think I was told
There's the
that.
word. I
Yeah.
didn't know what to say, but it triggered the spirits of the church, the churchgoers that were in spirit in their church, saying horrible things to Monique. And the way she was able to handle that, why does my presence bother you? And just that completely, and I want to learn from you. Tell me your problems, tell me your fears. Why do I upset you? Before it was done, these people were having outright conversations with Monique.
Oh, wow.
And then they were explaining what had happened there. I mean, she was her own trigger item. It was incredible.
Wow.
But my that was a big thing, watching Monique handle that situation with these people that were living history. They'd never seen anything like that. In their
No.
defense, they'd never experienced that.
Right.
But Monique's a beautiful person, and I was ready to mop the floor with something and somebody, and I was just ready to go live it. Monique held her hand up. Babe, I got this. Just hold on. By the
Mhm.
time it was done, she spoke such calmness into the moment. Now we have a back seat, what is it? Backstage passes. They're telling us what's going on in the room. It was incredible. But
Mhm.
then when we went over to the church, and I was sitting on the it's not a pew. It was where the seats are, where the speakers and the preacher and all of that are.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there on
Yeah.
like an
Up on the
altar,
pulpit
but
area.
pulpit area. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were sitting up there with our tripwire, and somebody had a piece of equipment that was a toaster that had been turned into some kind of paranormal equipment. I think it was Monique, and I'd never seen anything like it in my life.
That's
It was
cool.
really cool.
KD.
So
Need
it
a
was awesome. I
toaster.
think yeah, somebody think of that for me, because I'd love to be able to play with one. But I was getting a message, and I started receiving it, and she started doing a song and like a low chant to help me get the message. She wanted me to have that moment.
Oh,
She'd
wow.
reach over and hold my hand, and the love I felt coming from her was unbelievable. And I want other people to have that experience with someone that is, I mean, I get emotional thinking about it, because there are a bunch of us shaman females that were there, and it was unbelievable. We ended up in chant together. I started the song, and it was an indigenous song to bring, because there were indigenous souls there that were in the battle with these settlers. And so I was just trying to get everybody to stop fighting and let's just love. And by the time it was done, the energy that was in that church and the healing that was going on, who was I to start something like that? I mean, there I am with Patty Negri and a lot of other extremely, knowledgeable people. Like Sam Baltrusis was the one that had put the whole thing together and brought us to the church. But I started getting the message, and she stopped and let me get the message, helped me. And then we started the song. And then she taught me one, and we all started singing it. And it wasn't like Kumbaya, it was something much stronger. I mean, who does that?
Yeah.
Patty's
great. She's just, I've met her before, and that I always tell people the beautiful soul of a white light that you see on TV is what you're going to get. That's right. That is her. That is her. She's not fake. She's not, she is, that's her. And
I'm looking forward to meeting her. I haven't met her yet.
Yeah.
You'll love her. She sells haunted underwear.
No, that's right.
Sexy female haunted underwear. And I didn't have my size, and I've lost 50 pounds. I bet you I'll find my size this time. I'm getting
I got some haunted underwear, but I don't know that it's really.
Congratulations on the weight loss. I am on that path with you as well. I'm at 50 in the last 2 years. So congratulations. It ain't easy. It's not.
And losing weight not only makes you feel good, but you also want to look good. And if we only knew somebody that backed a line of creams and whatnots that would magically make your face just glow. You don't like that.
Just look like this. Oh yes, we haven't plugged my Neora stuff lately. Neora, jtally@neora.com. I do stand by their face products, folks. This is me. This is how I look. I don't have a filter on. I'm going to be 53 in May. So
you look beautiful.
Thank you. But the creams are great. My mom uses them. My mom's not old. I'm just not going to say how old she is. She's not old. She's my mom. She's never old. But she looks gorgeous. So yeah, go jtallyneora.com. They've got firm cream. I actually have their self tanner on now. Because, don't tan in the sun, folks. Bad for you. Tan in a bottle, better. And there's mom. Neora is great. Thanks, mom. Mom looks great for being my mom's age. And I'm not, and my mom is young, and she's never going to be old. So that is how mom. Nope. That could be the Bohemian line too. Anywho. But yeah, it's great product. So if anyone is looking, they've got a firm cream, they've got shampoo and all that stuff. So yeah, they sponsor me. I forget about that one. I'll put the link in the comments too.
That's why I'm here.
Yes, so, please.
Lee, what we talked about so many things. What is something? So someone comes to the Paracon and says, "All right, I'm gonna take." And Chris calls you LTB. He's so cute.
The first time that I started talking to them, and they said LTB, I'm like, who? I thought they was talking about that old football player.
Oh yeah.
But I've never in my life, I was like, LTB, who in the hell are they talking? But now it's so much simpler.
Yeah, LTB, that's so much easier.
It's we could kind of like make a rhythm out of it.
Sounds like a classic car.
We haven't done we always have on the website, we have just a brief, parapsychology with Latriana Terry Brown. So if someone's coming to the Paracon, they're looking at that, what should they expect to learn? Like, can you give them like a couple of things that, okay, when your butt's in the seat in front of me, this is what we're going to talk about or do.
We're going to go from the past, the present, and then the future.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it was like in the past. This is where you could go to find this information. Here's some incredible highlights that happened. Now here we are. And here's some of the science behind it. And where you're going forward is going to be your journey. And this is how you can increase, your knowledge. What is your passion? What do you want to learn? How can you learn that? What kind of people are you following? What kind of shows are you watching? What kind of equipment are you using? So.
Okay. I feel like I picture your class and I feel like someone should have a notebook with them. No, I
100%.
I do.
A lot of my books that I sell has a journal in it.
Yeah.
So as you go through
speaking of that, where can
Parapsychology
they find your
101,
books?
yes, Amazon.com has all of my books. Let's see. Family Spirit, the origins of 5 generations of supernatural is actually produced and published by Haunted Road Media. Rick Secker. I get his name wrong in my mouth every
Sorry,
time.
Mike
Rick Secker. Sorry, Mike. He did the first one, and then Vicki Peplow, VAP Publishing. She did my other books, and she does a beautiful job. She's an indie author, and she's great. She's fantastic to work with. And that book, I have it set up like a journal. So you'll read some things, and then I've got some questions for you, and then we go back through. Thank you, Blaine. I think they're good. I really like the Psychic Kids one. Thanks, Blaine.
That was one
I
of
do
my
want to.
shows,
Jen,
too.
I can't keep my mouth shut because she said the A word. Amazon.
I know.
All
I was
right.
waiting.
Here comes the disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen. I hate Amazon. They do not pay their authors worth of shit. And as I always like to say, if you can go directly to the author and buy their books, whether it be online or in person, not only do you have a really good chance of getting an autograph, but number 2, the money goes directly to them so they can keep doing what they're doing. I mean, but if you can't,
amazing.
There's Amazon, Jim Bezos. But I would much rather you go directly to Lee and get the books. And there are 9
books. Yes. And Matthew wrote one about grounding and shielding. And it's one of the exercises that he often does with people that are going through anxious times or depression or, hey, Morgan, thank you for joining. Like I said, everybody's got a different talent. Some of them are building a new talent, coming into their own. So I love being able to watch people grow. It's a gift to me to watch that. Yeah. And also, yes, leetriana.com is my website. You can order from there. But just come to the New Orleans Paranormal Society Paragon. Come to New Orleans. Come to NOLA. Come to the big
first
show.
one in the French Quarter.
Yes, we're so excited. We're so excited to have it in the quarter. I'm just excited I love sharing our city with people. I love sharing our spirits that, we've got a few regulars. Here's the thing. You're going to have places, you think that the locations are large. They're not. They're small. So if you think you're going to be wandering around other than the cemetery by yourself, you're not. Very close quarters, small group. But there's a lot of transient spirit activity here. In fact, we've got only 2 locations that we have what we would call house spirits. So I can't wait for you guys to meet our regular dead people, but you're still going to have the opportunity to see what else what else is walking by and says, hey, they look fun. Let's talk. You never know.
Yeah. So I'm bringing my spirit guides with me. I go everywhere with them. They're wonderful people. I can't wait to introduce my goats. Because somebody had just said something about the paranormal goat. I guess goats in the brain. But anyway, I can't wait for my spirit friends to meet yours. That's going to be fun. And I'm bringing some haunted objects, and I want to see how those react in the French Quarter and to some of your spirit friends. So it's
And
going to be
we-
great.
We do have a spirited vessel, a haunted object that we bring out and speak to in one of the locations. I won't tell you what it is, but I'll just make sure Chris remembers to
Yes, please.
bring him out. It's we'll tell you the story when you get here, but it's not a bad thing. It's just a
Mhm.
just a person. Just part of a person.
Well, I've got one. Hey, Thomas, I have a haunted object that I'm bringing with me, more than one actually. And this one is actually inhabited. It's not, there's no attachment to it.
Oh
It's
wow.
inhabited by someone. And John Zaffis has been looking at it with me. I appreciate his input. God, he's been helping me for 17 years or more.
You know,
Wow.
speaking of
He's
Johnny,
really something special.
Yes, he is.
ever since he came on our show and he showed me those fangs that he said he'd never shown anybody, I keep thinking about zombie Johnny or vampire Johnny. And so now I'm picturing him with those fangs, and it's just hilarious. Please come in my head and enjoy the show. Wish you'd put them on.
Well, people can get fangs made there, get an appointment to get fangs made there as well.
Oh, that.
'Cause,
Oh,
why not?
and so the person that just asked me, they were talking about the cemetery, and they're like, how many people were buried out there? Well, fucking all of them.
In the dark where the shadows roam, whispers rise from the great unknown. Voices calling through the static.